Welcome. I am Crime Queen. Well, let's adjust this a little. Okay. There we go. All right. So, okay, I just want to get on with this presentation. It's about the black entrapment. So, I seem to be just touching on it, and it's my kind of way of really warming up. But let's dive into it right now. So, I have done a presentation. Still needs adjusting this. Yes. Okay, so I've done a presentation, of course, several, but I'm hoping to be able to have them in a way that they can be followed methodically. So that way I was, yeah, I'm thinking of high because I just done a little presentation on high and low and realized that they both came to 5. So basically low is 14. Now we understand that gives me an insight. That gives me more meaning to the numbers, how they play out. So 23 is like grassroots of 5, really. It's like it's 6 partnership. It knows the low vibrations as much as the high. Of course it will know the high because free is really it doesn't stay still. Who knows where free ends up? Because free is just really seeking to break into attaining freedom. Now even when it has freedom, it breaks into feeling free. It still goes round because that's the nature of free. That's the nature of free. Hence we see even with the story of Christ, and we learn about the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. See what has evolved from that. See what has evolved from this story, no matter what fights had been taken, where the Christians were being slain and whether they were slaying others. But see what has happened. Mega churches. Religion has just grown like mushrooms. And so we can see that free, that's the free. Now all these people, including myself, of course, what are we doing? Seeking freedom. Yet still, what do? We find other people like ourselves on which to attach ourselves to. That's free. Freedom. Okay. And that is the genesis here, because that's the genes. The genes is like, of course, genes, it's plural. Okay, so it 33 derives from the word is the value of Genesis in that sense. Of course, we hear about the 33 degrees as well. That's another thing to think about. But right now, we are concentrating here. So that's the thing I love about how sometimes Mother Eve really speaks to me. Mother Eve speaks to me, and I love it when I listen, because when I listen, I see the result of what I'm listening to. So as I say, I done this presentation, and I thought just do high and low. So there I was with low, L-O-W, and I had high. Now high, that's the thing, H-I-G-H, it has 2 H's at the end. That means that there are 2, it's like saying there are 2 gods there in partnership. Because high has to have 2 gods by all means, because it cannot stay up there by itself. Excuse me. Got to this is herbal tea. Okay, so high can't really remain up in the heavens by itself. It needs to have that sort of alignment, some base. You can't build a roof without having a foundation or having pillars. Well, no. I do wonder about when I cough. I think it's that Freudian thing, but I am really going with how spirit is guiding me right now, because I am spirit, of course. So there we were talking about finding out that 23 now is low. Now 23 is that it really coincides with the part of Christ's crucifixion, which is the 13, the B that I'm talking about here. It would be, it's like it's denoting, I am smiling because my real name equals 23. My Christian name is 23. Now that's not a bad thing. It just means I can connect with people on all levels. I am believing that. Oh, excuse me, because I can feel what it is that was tickling my throat. Okay. And then we have 32, which is high now. The CK. Now we can see is that Calvin Klein. That's where the number, the abbreviation, we can see that. And that's why people need to understand like what they're buying into. We can see how the logos come about. So Calvin Klein is really like high up there, but he's high up there because his law is supporting him. The law that is supporting him. I know a lot of people that don't eat proper, but they will have and wear the Calvin Klein on their butt because they've got to show off that CL all over the waistline, meaning waistline. Okay. So the other thing that we were covering here, we have covered, and I won't be spending much time on this area because I want to explore here, because we are looking at the entrapment of black and white. Now we've got yellow there that has the same numerical value, but I thought I would leave yellow there as a form of shedding more light on the whole subject, as though it were the sun or the sun. Okay. Now the other thing we found here is that, so I wanted to explore the A, because people like myself who have encountered writing the word black, filling in forms and feeling that they lack. On one hand, they don't feel that they lack, but the subliminal messages are there when you look at the word, because we use the word lack all the time. So the spirit of sound mind is there to remind us that this lack that we are always using in the word black, which is also almost sounding like be lack, it's really, and perhaps that's how we would have learned to pronounce the word when we were much younger, because B is always B, and then you see lack, L-A-C-K, so it's be lack. So basically, in that state of lack, or this state here, when we see of black, we need to be mindful about what we are being lack of. As I say, I saw and I asked Mother Eve, of course, when we are feeling in that state of lack, what are we meant to be doing? And the answer is that we are meant to move. Now, this is very crucial. What moves? Let's do the numerical value for the word move. So we know what high is and what low is. I like to write it so it records. I'm still after my proper pen that writes. Okay. So move, M-O-V-E. And this is because we have Mother Eve at the end as well. So I'm trying to put this in a way so you can see. And this is 4, 6, 4. Now, this is 10 and 9, 19. So basically, wow, I get it. So 10 and 9 is 19. So 1 plus 9 is 10. Now 1 to 9, we need to understand is really, it's important that we understand once you move, you have an idea. and you've been thinking about this idea, but once you move, even as moving as writing it down, then the seed begins to take shape, and that's what the template is about. So we are looking at the number 10 because move is 19, 1 plus 9 is 10. Now that coincides perfectly with what Mother Eve has been conveying through her first command when she says let. So the word let, as in her first command here, or in the 8 commands, these are 8 entries here of her business, we could say. She says, let there be light. So the word let is synonymous in numerical terms with the word move, because she's ordering. Let, she's allowing. That is a form of indirect movement, we could say, because the word, of course, is that which has life. Okay. Now, I did talk about the twos here in my other presentation, and I want to concentrate on the A in the middle of the black, which, as I say, it is the ark, it is the covenant, it is the house, it is the home, it is that which it is the seed of all deeds, whatever it is that one wanted to dream. It is where we dream. So it is the A. Now if we do A here, for instance, wow, so we have A. We can see that it is also the pyramid. That's another thing. So that is showing that it's in the middle of the heart that we form the foundation. We build the blocks. This is where the building blocks begin to take shape. And then we go on, we continue that way. Of course, this is, so we see in the A is where everything lies. It's in the A. The A is, and it has 3 strokes. The 3 strokes also coincides with number 3, which we have on either side here, and the numerical value of L. Now, L has 2 strokes, and it has the numerical value of 3. That in itself tells us about that is Mother Eve. And we can hear, recall when we hear about, oh, Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, all these L's have been fashioned after their kind right here, which is Mother Eve, that L. The first very letter that which is Mother Eve is in the word as well, that is mentioned through Mother Eve is L. So I have made mention about the 13 here, which forms the bee, the beehive, the breast, the sac. The first section of the sacrifice template is derived from here. So Christ would have to break free literally, to break that which he now is in here is really like that W. So he would have to break the free like he broke the bread, because bread also equals 21. 2 plus 1 equals free. So we learned that he broke bread. Actually, we could say he broke free. So basically, and that free from that bond of the agreement that he would have made with his disciples. It's like really after a while saying, look, I've got to get out of here. We know, of course, the story of Judas, but that in itself, we could say that 1 too might have represented Judas, that he would have to move out of the way, so Christ would have to go and fulfill the quest that he had come to do. So perhaps we could say in this 13 right here that was at the table, Judas was probably representing that one right there that would have to move away, so that Christ would fulfill his um, his his quest to save mankind. That quest to save mankind, as we have seen, is really in sync with activating the pineal gland or the pineal gland. Or we could say your third eye, because some people really do not like that word. And or your kundalini rise. So that is what it means about when we see in the word lack, for instance, it is movement. We need to like have the discernment when we need to lie low and when we need to rise. So when we need to rise, for instance, when we need to build, when we need to begin to flourish, that's when we begin to come into the white. We become the light, because the light now is after we have built a foundation in the middle of the heart, which is one. And of course, the one that is the foundation here, the 10, which equals 10 as well, like imagine it were 10. So you have the male and female aspect of what you are building with. So hence you come with this, we have the A. Now, of course, here with eye open, that is the heat we have been talking about. You have to birth. The eye in the middle of heat is where people are birthing newness. Now, as I said in my other presentations, the word heat now has taken the shape. It's no longer the slave master on the slave's back, like BACK. No, they are not hitting the black's back anymore, not like before, but now the hit is in the electronic devices, and it's really how many hits can you are you wanting to achieve. So you put something on Facebook or whatever it is, it's really that hitting that we are doing, not realizing where we are seeping out our energy. So in actual fact, we are draining ourselves of our own resources and we are becoming lack. So in that lack, that feeling of lack, we tend to get our fix from the two tools at the end, which have devised into the program of the heat, meaning the T that equals 2 is still there as a reminder. Even if they had given you a cross, it is still there as a reminder, and of course it's a cross to bear. It is well done in that sense, because you are given a cross to bear. So that cross to bear is that, and then you are being hit. So of course it's the same thing. The number 2 is here, and this is the 13 that forms the bond, the BKT. This is the B of the 13 at the table with the sacrifice of Christ. This is the K for the kiss of death in the sense of Christ's crucifixion, and the T here, which is for the T that I've just showed you, where it's the nail and it is the cross. It is the cross, it is the nail. You are being nailed right there in that bucket of Kentucky, or in that the M here, whether it's McDonald's, the M is right there. It's all in a box. So we have the word K even sounding like X as well, in that sense, the box. So we can see how food has been used. Food has been used, and not just food, it's that anything that occupies our our appetite, anything that can absorb as an appetite, to feel an appetite, an addiction, an action that makes us want to keep hitting that button. And so we have come to the world of buttons and just hitting and tapping. Now, I have done the numerical value for the word tip as well, which is, I think, 10. So basically, we are giving out our energy in that pure way by hitting and being very occupied, and then we become addicted. It is there we get the buy one, get one free, or buy one, get the third one half, or buy one and get the second one half price. Or you may even get another offer as buy one and get for a family member, and all of those things. But it's really to tie you into this agreement right here. And was it really meant to be that way? That's the question. Because Mother Eve is there along with us. It's like saying we make the choice, we make the agreements. And of course, this is Mother Eve right here. This is all designed. Because this is where she said, behold, I have given you all fruit bearing, all tree fruit-bearing seed after its kind. So she has given us all these things freely, but we have given other people the power to use it to control us by this kind of agreement, not being clear of the fine prints that we are entering into. And Judas must have said, look, I'm out of there. Because Judas might have, perhaps he saw, this thing is going to go on forever. I'm not sure that I really like the taste of this thing. Of course, we get the story that he had a plan before, but the plan was not really in sync with the bread and the wine. It was not sitting well in his stomach. As I say, it wasn't his blood type. It wasn't matching his blood type. So there we see how, again, the black, let's look at this. We have the B here, and we have the L here, and we have the A and the C. So what I am showing is black really just comes into this first sack. It does not really go further than here. In fact, I hadn't even realized that as so to that depth. So it would be B-L-A-C-K. And so we are going back and forth when we are in the state of black. In the state of black, you are looking, you are trying to pinpoint. And I think this as well is saying, I'm just looking at this. So we have 3 and 3, that would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, so it's 11 here. Okay. But we can see the motion here. I'm trying to see what other pattern this is giving us. So it's B. Let's follow the pattern. So it's B-L-A-C-K. Wow, it looks like... Okay. So it's B right here. L, B, L, A, C, K. So basically, it's like the pattern we get is something like this. Let's see. So it's like an N that goes, wow. I'm going to have to readdress this. It's like a Z. It's like a Z. And if it's like a Z, then it's like 8. But it's really jagged. It's jagged. So in that pattern itself is showing what happens when one is in a black state. This is the red pattern here. So let's pay attention to the white part as well. So we have seen that black is only in the sack. We can see how it marries with the story of carrying sacks on your back. The back is only when the L, the number 3, which is the mom who is supposed to be there to protect you, is absent. So back is really like, you know, you've got to be your own mother in this case. You've got to grow up and fend for yourself in this case. So we are talking about the absence of this 3 here, which would be 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that when you have not got the 3, you are God. It's the 3 of movement that makes you realize that there is lack. It's the 3 that does not keep still. So the 3 in this case is like the baby who's kicking up a tantrum, really. That's what it is. And hence, that's why Mother Eve's first letter is L, because it's that life. It's the spokesperson. The L is really like, of course, this is what perhaps is how we learn to speak as well. That L. So L here, that 3, is really, she is the one who is very busy. And of course, she is the one who represented Christ, who represents Christ. As I said, Christ would say, look, come out of the way. I have made that agreement with my Father here, but come out of the way because I need to go. This is where he was saying to the disciples, where I am going, you can't come. Of course, there was harmony there. There's where he's going to get hooked on either sides with the number 2, but he knows that he's going to go through another dimension. And 3, he's going to get broken. Because you've got to get broken to be free. And freedom actually equals free. So basically, here we have the mirror aspect of the 3 that gets broken. The 2 frees are there, that vibration to help. In fact, so you are broken, but before you are broken, you have an image of what it is like that you are going to be like when you are mended. You are still going to be whole. But I like the idea, well, not just the idea, this is what happens when we see the word back. We are looking at, for instance, we know the story of slavery, that they were being hit on their backs, on the back, B-A-C-K. So the hit, now if we do the numerical value for hit here, is that, that is 17, 18, 19. 19 is 10. Now, this is the thing. Wow. Wow. It's just clear in my head. I'm saying wow because I've got to get my emotions together here. So, 8 is 19. 19 is 10. And I may have done this together before, but that's the thing. I keep doing things because so much information, it takes a while to register. So this is 10. So we hit, because we are talking about the absence of free, becomes 8. Now 8 is that which has to be also broken. So the God in you, this is the thing. When Eve ate of the fruit, she had to chew the fruit. It would have to be broken to be digested to birth into 9 right here. So, but we see in heat consists of that which that must be birthed. And so let's do the numerical value. This is where the spirit of sound mind and the language that we have been given words, letters, and numbers. That's where we go. 10. Okay. These were new pens. Oh, all right. Let's try again. Okay. So we have 10 here, but in the written form, this is where the Bible have had this, it had not stipulated its method of use, put it this way. But all it said, keep seeking wisdom. And we know it is said that the wisest thing was the serpent. So why not follow the serpent? After it has asked you to do that. Oh, I don't understand. Okay, so 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 means 1 plus 2 is 3. That's the 3 we are talking about. That's the 3 we are talking about. So in actual fact, 10 is free. So 10 is free. And because it is free, that's why Mother Eve's first word of the word let, it equals 10, and the first letter equals 3. We can see it's all intertwined. And that gives us an insight about how the makeup, the construct of the heating here. It's like you have to break free from the 8. The 8 is like a chain. It is a chain. The gods are tight. They have set. God, in fact, is number 8. The word set is 8. So the set that is done, you have to break it. It needs to be broken to set it free. That's why we now need to break out of the gods that we have built that does not serve us anymore. The habits, the addictions that have served, that has been as gods within us, we need to hit them out of the way. Maybe in some cases literally, so we can find that, so that free vibration, because the free is like, remember I've done this, the free is the flower, the free now. So basically, wow, this is just so delicious. This is delicious. So the free breaks the 8, which is like this, and then it transforms that 8 into a flower. That's the power of the free. And that's where it is said, you are the light of the earth. And also, as I mentioned in another presentation, man is like a flower. He withers and the wind carries him away. The wind, of course, is the vibration. But they are written in a way to make us feel less of ourselves. Yet still it is said, don't you know you are gods? And of course, with the number 8, of course, we are gods. But gods does not stop there. The gods were given permission to create in Genesis. This is what Mother Eve had done. She had given the contracts to the gods. You are gods, but you need to break out of that 8. You need to chew that, whatever it is, the seed. You need to eat of it. And of course, eating of it, which is what the disciples did, eat of the bread, which is number 3. So they ate of the bread. Bread equals 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. And we see how it is the same 3 that is 10. That is just beautiful. If people could get this, that would be the end of all this racism that we are talking about. Or we would be able to really know what we are hating. It's the habits we need to break free of. But this has been hair. It has been designed in a way, of course, that makes us think as black, you cannot. And we can see that it is designed that way, but we need to find a way to make it work for us. You see where the 5s are here. That means on the template, the black is not permitted to go further than number 3. The black is not permitted, according to these numerical values, to go further than the 3. So each needs each other. These two need each other. And of course, I will show again why in this case that some were not even permitted to vote. Because when you go into 8, if you do not know your business, if you do not know who you are, when you go into 8, you are going to headquarters. That's where all the paperwork is being done. When you go there, if you get a chance to go there, they'll say, well, who are you? I don't know you. So basically, we see how, as I say, when we take off the L hair, it helps us to see that we are 8 hair. The black is 8 right there. That is 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6, and that 2 is 8. But the thing that happens is that going in a line, the 2 is just going back. It's going back. We could say because we learn to, but however, it's got a tail end hair. But its head is going that way. Whereas we have learned to look this way, to the right. And the 2s and the 3s are going that way. So basically they are serving a function of reflection. Wow. The function of reflection, to look back, it is important we look back to see where we at, know what needs being broken, what chains need to be released, and know that we have the resources to deal with that, because in black it has got everything. It has the 3 plus 2 here for the 5 to really have the key, because number 5 is key. It has the key to the house right there. It has the lock to the house. It has the open to the house. She is Mother Eve right there. We can't be crying anymore. We need to know that when you are in a low state, you are being black, in the sense of, like I have done, low as number 23. When you are there in 23, like where you have BLA, like blah, 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 sheep, meaning that have you got any wool? That which begins hair is like saying we need to reflect. This is the high end hair, the 32. I have done the numerical value for high, and it has 2 8s in it. So which means it's also telling me right here, if you wanted to get your 8 on this end, there are 2 ends of getting the 8s. So here, and let's see how I'm going to do this. Right. I think I have done it right. So it's that I have gone in the AC. That would be, so I have counted 8 without that L here, and we can also count 8 without that 3 here, which is the C. That means it's the I. The C is the I, the ocean. So there would be, of course, B-L-A-K. There is black. So in that black, because it's got the L, you are moving up. You are on a high. So black is high. Now, let's just check the time here. So it's going to, so back to the 5. Why I'm hoping I can conclude this on the 5 here. We see these numbers here. We have learned to value those numbers, those high numbers, more than these lower numbers, particularly in the material world. Okay. Which, although they could be more of a hindrance than a benefit. So this is where I'm saying that the black is in this section here. It is the reverend. In fact, it's the reverend. There we have the abbreviation for reverend right here. It reveals. It reveals. It is supposed to do all this revelation stuff right here. And so this is where we go into the other section. So with the white, it starts here. They don't even go into the developmental stage, because like we would say, it's like being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. So they don't need to go into this developmental stage. They start in that 5 and they go on through all this 5, 6, 7, whatever numbers, and go back. Then there's the T, which is the T, the only 2 go to help go back here. Basically, there had been no interest from this section to train people into the developmental stage. When the 2, what people have done and how they have used white and black to entrap or to entrap others, they would pay no attention to that developmental stage here, which is the first place of going through this part of that cycle. No, they go into the we, W-E, it's all about we, and then they go into the Fox, which is Fox TV, of course. So they are not, people don't have the access to all this news because it doesn't matter. And then they go through here, the Inland Revenue, the headquarters zone, because all the resources are coming from here. Because the people are being conditioned, being hit. Of course, you have the HI here, and the T, which is represents 2, has to go back on the back here, where the people are being hit, or it's the 2, and they have to agree to whatever rules that are set. And so this is what we are seeing. The developmental stage is vital. So that's why people who have been in this sack know that it is important for to be around here. They have to get out of that sack conditioning, go through that developmental stage where Mother Eve's presence is still here, and get that orientation right here under that 9. it means a rebirth has to happen there, because R is representing 9 as well, because that 9 have been controlling this 9 here as well. So that's why with the number 2, they don't even bother to go through here. It's really about we, WIGH, and the T is over here. That's the construct that we have, that's of the world that we have been in. And this is my concern about how we use technology as well with that hit. Of course, I do these presentations, and I would like to have people clicking the like button and sharing, and because I believe that I have a message that would serve people well. And so that energy, of course, in turn would be used to grow in a healthy way. So this is the thing, we need to pay attention. This tip, our fingers, our energy, each time we do this on an iPad or phone or whatever it is, we are sending energy to wherever that destination is. We are feeding that energy. It's another form of slavery, we could say, because there is someone else who's benefiting from that tapping that we are doing. They say it is free. Free is number 7. 7 is really that which is the 7th day of rest from the work, which is why people are able to tap into when you are resting from your work, because your eyes are not so focused, you could say. 7 is so still. It is a little bit arrogant in its way, but it's still, it's like looking, oh, what have I done? But it's not moving. What is necessary? Because 7 is really the L upside down. So when